Spring gardening season is here, and right now is a great time if you want to get started planting your spring crops before the summer heat kicks in. In today's video, I'm sharing 25 vegetables and herbs that grow really well in Central Texas and other similar warm climates. Hello, this is Vidya from Green Food Forest, where I show you how to grow your own organic food in your urban backyard gardens. I'm dividing these into three specific categories which can help you plan and plant them better. The category number one are seeds that you will sow directly into your raised beds or your container plants. And these are usually cool weather crops, so now is a great time in March to sow them directly into where they will grow. The second category is where you actually start these seeds indoors most of the time. Sometimes you can keep them outside if the weather is warmer, like this year when we have had a very warm February and March. The third category is where I recommend you start these plants from transplants, meaning you buy small saplings from the store which are readily available at this time of the year. The reason for this is because some of these seeds require a very long germination and growing time before you can transplant them into your backyard. Plus, some of these vegetables like eggplants and tomatoes and peppers, you may want to sow a variety of different seeds, which starting from seeds is a lot of work, and you're better off just getting different plants of the varieties that you want to grow. Let's get planting, and here's category number one to sow seeds directly outside. First on the list is the radish, super easy to grow, and they also can be harvested in just about a month. If you look at the back of the seeds packet, then you can see under the thin section, that's the spacing 2 inches apart. So that's a good indication to sow these seeds 2 inches apart in your raised beds or container gardens because they're so easy to grow. Now gently put some soil on top, not too much, just a little, and pat it so the seeds don't move. And you can enjoy crispy red radishes or any kind of radish you're planting to grow in less than a month. Next up is the white radish varieties, and you sow these seeds 1 to 2 inches apart. For beets, there are different varieties that you can grow. This one is my favorite. The seeds are slightly bigger, and usually you sow them 3 to 4 inches apart, but do check the back of your package for recommended spacing. You can grow bush beans or pole beans, which is a vining variety. I am growing the bush beans here. Sow 5 to 6 inches apart and harvest in about 2 months. Next up is spinach. Sow these seeds 6 inches apart and harvest in about 4 to 5 weeks. Next up is some more greens with fenugreek. Here I have used seeds from my kitchen itself, and they grow pretty easily. You just have to scatter the seeds lightly in your raised bed or container and then gently cover with some more soil, and you can harvest in about a month. The same thing is true with mustard. I'm using here seeds again from my kitchen, scattered lightly, and then you can harvest these mustard greens in about 3 to 4 weeks. And if you let them go to flower, these make great pollinators. Same way you can grow kale, and you can harvest them in just a little over a month. Finally, in this category, I have cilantro, a very popular herb. We'll take these seeds, which is a slow bolting variety, so that it does well in warm climates. These seeds now need to be crushed a little bit. The reason we do this is because the seeds actually have a little bit of a thick coating, and by crushing the seeds, it helps fasten the germination. This is how the seeds now look. You just scatter the seeds and then lightly cover with soil, and then you can harvest fresh greens in a little over a month. Now let's move on to category number two, which are seeds that you can start indoors or outdoors if you have warm weathers in early March. These include crops like melons, cantaloupe, watermelon, or heat-loving bean varieties like long beans, or gourd varieties like bitter gourd, bottle gourd, ridge gourd, and the list goes on. I have already made a detailed video on how to grow these seeds, how to soak them, sprout them, and plant them to make strong saplings. I'll link those videos down below. Now on to category number 3, which is growing from transplants. And stay tuned because I also have a free bonus at the end of this section. Parsley is a very popular herb in a lot of different cuisines, and it's super easy to grow. You just have to dig a hole to the size of the transplant that you have bought and then gently take it out of the container. Now gently loosen the roots and place it in the hole that you have dug. You can add about a tablespoon of all-purpose plant food or fertilizer, and I would highly recommend you pick an organic one since we are growing vegetables that we will be consuming. Then gently put the soil back into the hole and tap gently to make sure that the plant is well settled and there are no air pockets in that area. This will help the transplant settle down quickly and start growing and thriving in its new location. And then we'll water this plant deeply to make sure it is settled in your new location. Always make sure to water the transplants right after planting and new seeds as well after sowing. Eggplants can also be transplanted in a similar way, and there are lots of varieties to choose from. Here are my favorites. Next are peppers, a super popular vegetable for people to grow, and there are so many varieties to choose from. You can buy new transplants or even overwinter plants from the previous year to get a head start to the season. Next is ivy gourd, which is best grown from stem cuttings like this, and they are sold as transplant around springtime. And since it is a vining variety, you need a trellis. Similarly, you can pick your favorite variety of cucumber to grow on trellises. You can grow zucchini as a bush plant or winter squashes, which need a trellis as they are a vining plant. Last but not the least, we have wonderful tomatoes in so many different varieties. They can be bushes or they can be grown as vining plants. For this video, I'm showing a vining plant variety called Early Girl, which I am planting in this location by a trellis. I start off by removing some of the lower leaves to make sure that the stem is cleared off in the bottom part. I will be burying this plant deeper into the soil. That way, new roots can grow along the sides of the part of the stem that we buried. This makes sure that the tomatoes have a strong, deep root system. Dig a deep hole and gently place the plant into the new hole. Add a half a tablespoon of organic all-purpose fertilizer and bone meal. Place the plant in the hole and add another half a tablespoon of fertilizer and bone meal on top. Tomatoes are heavy feeders, so this extra nutrition helps. And finally, make sure to water deeply the plant. And now for the big bonus section. These are transplants you can get for free. You either get a cutting from a friend or reuse from your own plant or even use your kitchen scraps. Mint is one of the easiest herbs to grow. You just take a cutting from an existing plant, remove some of the bottom leaves from that cutting, and then gently plant this cutting into the soil. Leave this pot in a part sun location for a week and then move it to a sunny location. This will ensure that the new transplanted stem has settled down. And did you know you can grow your own cabbage, lettuce, or even green onions from your own kitchen scraps? Just take the cores and keep them in water for a little bit, and then once they are a week old, you can transplant outside. See the description for a detailed video. And that's a wrap. I hope you try planting some of these crops and give them time to establish before the summer heat kicks in. I'll leave the names of the seeds and the plant varieties that I have always loved and I'll be growing this year. I hope you find them useful as well. And I will also leave links to some seeds down below. If you found this video useful, then hit that like button and subscribe for more such content. And do let me know in the comments which are the plants that you plan to grow this March. Thank you for watching and happy gardening.